Hi, my name is Isidora Đurović and I'm a CSM graduate and a London-based fashion designer with the experience of working for big luxury brands such as Givenchy and Burberry, as well as working independently for clients including Kylie Jenner. Over the past few years, I've been dedicated to helping people to get into some of the best fashion design schools in the world, such as CSM, LCF, IFM, Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp, or Parsons. And I'm here to tell you the truth that you need to know about how to get into these schools. In fact, here is the biggest problem that you face right now. It is a lack of information available regarding what these schools are looking for and not knowing if your work is good enough. But that's not even the end of the problem that you face, because if you don't know which skills to focus on, what to include, and how to present it, you will most likely end up producing a weak body of work which is not up to the required standard, which means that you will end up wasting years and a lot of money on unsuccessful applications and possibly never even get it right. And worst of all, most people can't even get past the idea that it's not only about how good your outcomes are at the moment, but about the quality of your process and your ability to develop further and become an exceptional designer. But there is a solution to these challenges. There is a way to produce a portfolio which can get you in regardless of where you are right now. But before we get into that, let me just quickly share my background story with you. In my final year of high school, I decided I wanted to apply for the BA Fashion Design course at CSM without any prior experience in art and design. And of course, I had no clue on where to start my preparations and what a portfolio should look like. And I couldn't find any examples of sketchbooks or portfolios of people who already studied there, so I had nothing and no one to learn from. The information that I could find online was all scattered and contradicting, which made me feel confused and insecure about what I'm doing. Plus, the pressure of deadlines was making me feel very anxious because getting in was the most important thing in the world for me at that point. So, having experienced all these challenges myself, I know how confusing and overwhelming the process of portfolio preparations can be. So after months of nerve-wracking preparations, I finally managed to get into the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp and the foundation course at CSM, which eventually secured me a place on the BA course. And what I noticed from my studies is that the reason why most people get in is not always directly linked to their talent, experience, or not even how advanced their skills are. It all came down to understanding a few processes and using a few techniques that anyone can learn, but almost no one was teaching them. And unlike the popular belief, you don't have to be a creative genius or a mature designer to get in. You only have to show the work that demonstrates your potential to become one. And what that means is that only certain aspects of your work need to be exceptional, but most people fail to identify what those key aspects are and how to present them. Knowing what to include and if your work is good and creative enough is the most common challenge. And this can only be learned through guidance with examples, focused practice of those key skills, and understanding of the full process. I realized that the reason why getting in seemed like this mysterious process that only a few understand is because only a few people actually had access to this important information, and only a few of them had mentors who have gone through the same process successfully. And these realizations really stuck with me because I felt like this is knowledge that needed to be shared, and I really wanted to make these insights more accessible to anyone who wanted to improve their fashion design skills. So that's when I started working with people who had ambitions of studying fashion at the top level. And when most of my students got into their desired courses, I started noticing patterns of what people struggle with the most and what they find the most valuable when working with me. So I compiled everything that I learned through my studies and through work with my students into a course, which makes this process a lot easier, faster, and definitely more fun. And the name of the course is Method for Fashion Portfolio. This course gives you everything that you need to know, so you can use it as your primary source of information. It includes all the key information regarding the requirements of the different BA fashion courses. It includes 8 modules in form of guided presentations which focus on the most important skills. We'll start with research. I'll explain what it is, how and where to find it, and what to do with it. Then we'll move on to sketchbooks and workflow, which is a module about working in sketchbooks and reflective journals, which will give you an overview of the overall design process. And from there, we'll move on to skills such as drawing. And this includes observational drawing, different creative drawing techniques, mark making, fashion illustration, as well as collage. I'll also show you a few creative ways of manipulating fabric by using 3D techniques such as draping, deconstruction, and paper manipulation. I will also explain the concept of final garments. In the module 5 and 6, we'll talk about color, texture, and experiments. I'll explain what they are, why they're so important, and I'll instruct you on how you can do them by showing you a bunch of examples. In the design development section of this course, I'll show you how to extract functional garments out of your abstract experiments. I'll also show you a step-by-step guide on how to create a collection and a lineup. And once you've mastered all of those techniques, I'll teach you how to create a portfolio which will emphasize your strengths and help you stand out. I will explain all the rules and logic around portfolio presentation, and I will answer some of the most common questions, such as what to include in your portfolio, how to know if your work is good enough, how to organize your projects and how to organize content on individual pages, as well as how to communicate your ideas clearly and how to create a strong layout. We'll also cover topics such as interviews, personal statements, and photo shoots. This course also includes hundreds of research references and research databases, as well as hundreds of portfolio and sketchbook pages from my foundation, first, second, even the final years of my studies. Plus, you will get 10 briefs for 6 projects which can be compiled into a portfolio. If you're someone who has an ambition of studying fashion at the top level and building an outstanding career, you need to understand this. You will only be able to do this with the right guidance and relevant skill set. Your talent and skills don't need to be extraordinary to get in, but there are some key must-haves, and you're 100% able to do all of this with a right portfolio method. I've tested this course with dozens of my students, most of who got into their desired courses, and that's why I'm so excited to share it with you so that you can get the same results too. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, sign up by clicking the button below. I look forward to guiding you through a creative journey and hopefully see you soon.